we're gonna do like our top 5 cereals right now. And I know for us, Nick, this is something that, you wake up as a kid on a Saturday morning and you're having like 3 bowls of cereal as you're watching, whatever game or cartoon. And it's something, during this quarantine, I'll admit I've been doing. So, and
here's something weird. I like don't think I was a huge Saturday morning cartoons kid because
I wasn't either.
because my
So
parents wouldn't let me watch TV right in the morning, more so than I would have wanted to.
no,
But
dude, we have similar parents. My parents didn't either. So
yeah, they just like wouldn't let me. But
yeah.
like cereal, I've eaten cereal since I've been like a child, like a tiny child.
And this is the time. I mean, I'll admit, like, past, since graduating college or whatever, eating cereal has not been like a normal thing because it's like sometimes you just don't have time in the morning or it's not as
Wait, what's quicker
healthy.
than eating cereal?
Well, sitting down like at a table, like if you're trying to get out of the house, you can grab something easy, or sometimes I think a lot of people don't even eat breakfast nowadays.
I need my breakfast. I need it.
I'm with you. So anyway, we're and by the way, on this topic, went food shopping today and grabbed a couple cereals. So some of them might be on my list here, but I'll let you go first here. What are your top 5 cereals?
Okay, top 5 quarantine cereals. I mean,
5 quarantine cereals, very a different description there.
yeah, I mean, like I think the list wouldn't really change for me, but like I think one is going to the top because you need a little sugar and a little comfort. It's kind of a sweeter cereal, but it's the one that you really need, and that's Lucky Charms is the number 1 quarantine cereal. They're magically delicious. Those marshmallows give you that hit of energy that says my life will continue on after this. So that's got to be number 1 for me.
I'll just cut to the chase. That's number 1 for me too.
What?
I said I'll cut to the chase. That's number 1 for me too.
I mean,
let's be real.
Let's be real. If you're really honest with each other, Lucky Charms, the best cereal of all time. But
you're having mini marshmallows for breakfast. I mean, come on.
Exactly. Like you cannot beat that. I'll do my top 3 and then we can finish it out from there. But number 2, Honey Nut Cheerios. I mean, so good. They're pretty good for you, but they just hit so good every time. And I feel like now more than ever, like some days you really want the magically deliciousness of like Lucky Charms, but Honey Nut makes you feel like I'm not eating terribly, but like it still tastes so good. So that's number 2 for me. And then I might be a weirdo, but I really like Cinnamon Life. I think it's
Cinnamon Life.
Yeah, Cinnamon Life.
That's a curveball.
Yeah, it just does it for me. I don't know what it is. It really just like, again, one of those cereals where it's like, it's kind of Honey Nut Cheerios. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm eating so poorly. Like, I'm not going like 150% towards Lucky Charms, but
yeah,
like I'm also getting a deliciously tasting cereal. So,
well, just finish out your top 5.
Okay, number 4. Gosh, this one reminds me. I feel like I only eat these on special occasions, but like when I do, I'm like eat like 7 bowls of them at one time, and it's Fruity Pebbles. I don't know why. I just feel like I eat 4 bowls at once, and they just crackle and they taste so good. And again, it kind of gives you that sugar rush you need in the morning. So it's, I just never have them. Maybe it's like the rarefied cereal for me. So like that's why I'm like really excited to like add them to my quarantine list. And then the 5th one, this was a difficult choice because I think there were tons that like really could have made it in here. If I'm really going to be honest with myself though, it's going to have to be Honey Bunches of Oats. And this comes down to like Honey Bunches of Oats. It's kind of annoying to get stuck in your teeth a little bit, but they're damn good and they're crunchy. They get the crunch of the of the nut, but you also get the flake as well. So Honey Bunches of Oats, top 5 quarantine cereal. You can have multiple bowls while you're watching your Netflix in the morning. So That's my top 5 is.
There you go. So go over your top 5 one more time.
Yeah, so it's Lucky Charms is number 1, Honey Nut Cheerios is number 2, Cinnamon Life is number 3, Fruity Pebbles is number 4, and then Honey Bunch of Oats is number 5.
Wow, dude, we are very similar. So I just made a change because I thought of one that I forgot about, and that I want to throw in here. But we have 3 of the same. So
yes.
Number 1 for me for sure is Lucky Charms. I mean, like we were talking about. I mean, you said a lot of it, but just the marshmallows part is like unlike any others. And it's just like when you get a, when you're down to the last of it of a bowl, but when you get like a scoop that is like all marshmallows, it's like one of the best things.
Yeah, is there any better feeling in the world? Like, no, there's not. It's that sweet, sweet spoonful.
Yeah. My number 2 is mini wheats. Now, I will say it's good to eat these dry. I'm always a milk in cereal kind of guy, but it's always good to eat these dry if you're just snacking. But in general, mini wheats, after they've been sitting in milk for like a little bit, so that they're soft enough to kind of eat casually, that's the best.
Yeah, totally. I love mini wheats. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Can you confirm for the listeners? Didn't you used to eat dry cereal?
This is David. This is my brother David.
Okay, your cousin David. Oh, your brother David.
Yeah, this is David. I've witnessed it so many times before school. He would just like, his go-to, by the way, was Kix. Do you remember Kix?
Dry Kix?
Drew,
That's
dry Kix is like, it's like suicide, dude.
Oh
it's
my
insane.
Gosh.
But Kix without milk. And he never ate milk with any cereal in general, but he loved Kix. And yeah, he would like watching him eat that like before school, and he'd also like sit down and eat it. And eating dry cereal in general takes longer than without milk. And he would like sit down and eat that before school. The bus would come and he'd run out with like out his socks and shoes on and like run out to the bus. It was
that's amazing.
Something to witness, let's just say that.
I used to run to the bus. It was like up a hill from my old house literally every day in high school. I could never just be on time. I would just be sprinting.
I remember where your old house too. I mean, that's a long run.
Yeah.
It's different than like our house. It's like literally at the corner from where we live. It's like maybe 100 yards run, but yeah, yours is
the bus driver just got to the point where I really loved her because we didn't like talk or anything, but we had an unspoken bond. Like she would not leave when she saw me like busting my butt like 100% to like make the bus. Like she would just be like, this kid is trying like as hard as he can. Like I'll wait like an extra 5 seconds. Like he's sprinting up the street. So that happened like a couple times a week. So,
yeah. Our bus driver did the same thing, but I'd get out there before my brother, and I'd tell her like, yeah, he's coming. Like if you just wait,
just wait like 5 minutes,
just wait like literally like 2 minutes. All right. So anyway, from there, but no, I never eat cereal dry. To answer your question,
no, I'm not a crazy person.
Number 3, you mentioned it, Honey Bunches of Oats. I mean, it's just like I think the key thing about this one is like it's one of those cereals that makes you think that you're healthy while you're eating it because it's like supposed to be one of those healthier ones. So, but it tastes delicious.
It tastes so good.
Yeah, and also like I think for a while I didn't realize that there were other kinds of the Bunches of Oats cereals. But like the Honey Bunches of Oats is the clear number 1, right?
Yeah, I think there's like berry bunches of oats. There's like other flavors.
There's like the plain Bunches of Oats.
You just don't mess around. You just get the classic.
No chance. Number 4 for me is definitely Fruity Pebbles. You mentioned it. Like you, same thing like you said. You can literally eat 4 to 5 bowls of these in one.
Right? It just goes down quicker than the average because they're so small. I think you're just like it's like a couple spoonfuls, and you're just like.
Yeah,
I found my
And
fifth
yeah,
bowl.
and
Damn.
especially with well, when you're eating it with milk, I mean, it's just like sometimes they sog together, and you just like you can eat it a lot faster. So, yeah, Fruity Pebbles was like.
Great choice.
So by the way, I was going between that one and Tricks for like my fruit one.
Mm.
In this top 5, but Fruity Pebbles just I think just far and away a better overall. My number 5, this is the one. So I did have Honey Nut Cheerios, but then I remembered I was like I like this one a lot more, and I used to eat it a ton, and that's
Oh,
Pops. Um, it's basically just corn, cereal, I guess, but sugary and all that. But Pops was something like I could eat a lot of those. And I haven't had those in forever, but but I remember eating those. Those was like one of my go-tos.
Pops was jockeying hard for that 5th position.
There you
Like
go.
it was very close to being there. It's number 6 on my list. Like it just barely didn't make it. But to your point, like I feel like again, like there's not a lot to Pops, but it's like it's
Yeah,
such a good cereal though. You just
it
like
really is.
I
Yeah.
think it must be loaded with sugar. It has to be.
Oh, probably yeah. It's definitely a load with sugar. But so you said that almost made your list. Any others that almost made your list?
Yeah, I was thinking about Cocoa Puffs in there as well.
Oof. Yeah.
Captain Crunch too,
Wait,
making a
real
late
real quick.
push.
The thing with Cocoa Puffs is the best part about that is like the leftover chocolate milk you have
Yeah,
when the cereal's
it's
gone.
exactly, and that's where like you did get the yeah, like you kind of like get that extra chocolate milk, and the puffs are really good. So it's in there, that and like Count Chocula, like all those are like really good, but it's not quite in the top 5 for me. Um, Raisin Bran is pretty good too,
Oh, interesting.
but it just wasn't really making a real run. But like Captain Crunch is like really good. But it's not like my favorite of all time.
Now you go regular Captain Crunch or the Crunch Berries?
Kind of like the Crunch Berry actually a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I would too. So yeah.
yeah. I
By the
mean,
way, you got a couple that like I didn't even think about, like the Cinnamon Life. I don't think I've ever had in my life, to be honest.
you haven't had Cinnamon Life,
No, Life is really good, but Cinnamon
dude. Okay,
Life,
if you like Life, you'll love Cinnamon. It's
really?
basically better tasting. It's 2 times better, 4 times better, whatever.
Life's really good.
But regular life doesn't compare to cinnamon. Like now I can't go back. Like regular life to me is just like bland. So
Okay, fair.
I will send you a box of cinnamon life.
You better. um, yeah, I've never been a fan of regular Captain Crunch. The Crunch Berries are good, but I don't know. I never liked Captain Crunch as much.
Yeah, that's the thing. I never. It is good, but it's just like there's something about it. Like this isn't top 5 worthy.
Yeah. Though the other one I was thinking of was Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yep.
That one just, especially those also, when they get a little milk soggy, I guess is that a word? Milk soggy.
Yeah, I think so.
They get really good. Interesting. And then Honey Nut Cheerios obviously for me too.
You know what? Also, honeycomb, really good too. I don't know if you ever had that.
I have. Wasn't a huge fan. I mean, it's good.
Ooh.
It was a little too much honey for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I made a lot of cereal as a kid. Like I straight up, that's all
Yeah.
I had for breakfast.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that was like the go-to. Yeah, and like you could eat. I remember like I would wake up a little bit. I would make sure I like got down so I could eat, and like I think you did this too. Was eat cereal and read the paper, like read the sports section.
Yep.
And I remember coming down, and my dad would be reading the paper, and he'd hand me the sports section. He'd always make sure he read it before like I came down for breakfast, because then like he could start reading like the other news or whatever, because I had no interest in that. But he always knew to like hand me the sports section.
I did love to read the sports section. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like to your point, my dad probably did the same thing, but they were just like, at least he's reading. Like, he's just in the sports section, whatever. Just take it. He's reading something in the morning, so
Yeah, we
whatever.
weren't watching cartoons, right?
Exactly. No cartoons in the morning, so
Oh man.
sports section, the old-fashioned box scores.
So let us know what your top 5 cereals are, because it's I think if you're sitting around at home like we are, then now's the time to try some new cereals. If and I'm definitely gonna try Cinnamon Life now, I guess. And any
Yeah.
others that people say. So
Instacart your Cinnamon Life. Whatever grocery store delivers, you get that box of Cinnamon Life.
I might just brave it out and go get it myself.
Whatever you have to do. I don't care what happens. You got to go get it.